Welcome back to our Advent journey following the path of Our Lady of Guadalupe and Saint Juan Diego. I'm so thrilled that we're just reaching the final segment of our journey here, as we've been meditating on how love is the driver for conversion and how love must also change our hearts to take concrete steps, right? For everything we've experienced, I just hope that you're realizing just how much the Lord loves you, how much He wants to pour out His love for you through our Blessed Mother. So, day number 20, let's go ahead and read our segment for today from the Nican Mopowa. And when he reached the summit, he was greatly amazed at all the flowers spread out there, their blossoms open, flowers of the greatest variety, beautiful and lovely, like those of Castile, though it was not yet their season to bloom. For it was the time when the frost was most intense. The flowers were diffusing a very sweet fragrance. They were like precious pearls, as if filled with the night's dew. Immediately he began to cut them, gathered all of them, and placed them in the hold of his tilma. The truth is, no flowers ever grew on the summit of the little hill, for it is rocky, with only thistles, thorny plants, prickly pear cacti, and an abundance of mesquite. And if by chance any small grasses used to grow, then in the month of December, the frost would devour everything and destroy it. So now Juan Diego climbs to the summit and finds a real, undeniable proof of God's love for his life. The beautiful and varied flowers, that these flowers, as you can remember, echo this land of flowers in the Aztec culture and mindset, where this was the land of heaven. The land of heaven for them was this place where it was so filled with flowers. That's what they would imagine, flowers and songs. So the mere presence of these flowers in this desolate, inhospitable season is a confirmation of God's power in the life of Juan Diego. So these are flowers that first of all shouldn't even exist in that location, right? These are flowers from Castile, which is in Spain. And secondly, absolutely, they should not have been able to survive there just in the middle of the freezing cold. But this is exactly just like Juan Diego's faith and our faith as well. In a world that's just so inhospitable as the one he lived in, a world full of contradictions, a world full of abuse, filled with noise, filled with all these contrasting experiences that would suffocate the faith, it is precisely there that Juan Diego's faith is able to flourish. Thanks to the miraculous and personal care that God has for his creatures, and especially for his beloved children. This is proof of love for us too. Today God invites us, you and me, not to take anything for granted. He wants us to be able to see that which has survived, which has thrived, even though every natural sign pointed toward its imminent death. What do I mean? Gathering these flowers for yourself, having climbed to the summit, I want to invite you to take time to contemplate everything, and I mean everything, that God has done in your life, throughout your whole life, despite all of the odds. And maybe it's his specific personal care for you in the middle of atrocious circumstances. Maybe it's the gift of your family. Maybe it's in your vocation. Maybe it's his presence sustaining you in the midst of some illness or adversity. I want to invite you to contemplate these flowers and gather them. Take nothing for granted, just looking at how inhospitable your surrounding may be, your context may be. Well, just appreciate the beauty of how these flowers have grown despite everything. And I also invite you to put them in the tilma of your heart. Place them in the hall of your heart. And as one final thought, Juan Diego wasn't gathering all these miraculous things just to put them in a museum or a nice display case in his house. Eventually, he's going to pour them all out before the bishop and at the Virgin's command, or our Blessed Mother's command. Now, these are the things that you are collecting so that you yourself can scatter your flowers, put them before the Lord, sharing your experience with others, telling them about what God has done in your life. That will be the most precious way in which these flowers in your life are also shared with other people, to share them as a testament of faith, as a miracle that has been happening. So gathering these flowers, these beautiful experiences where God has worked strongly in your life, then placing them in your heart, keeping them, and then treasuring them as something that you should never take for granted, and finally sharing it with others. That is sort of this Guadalupe itinerary that's proposed for us today. And I want to invite you to really take that to meditation. list everything. If so, write them down if that helps. But certainly, knowing how God has worked will allow us to share it with others and deepen our understanding of His love for our lives. Thank you for joining us today on this Advent journey. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless. This podcast is brought to you by Juan Diego Network, a project by Juan Diego and Friends Incorporated, a nonprofit seeking to attract people on the internet to in-person Christian community and the sacraments. Visit JuanDiegoandFriends.com to check out our other missionary initiatives.